Ladies and gentlemen, good people and not so good people, I'll allow you to decide where you fall on that spectrum. It's your boy Cool McCain. NFC Beast. I am joined by my guy. There. The couch coach. My cousin from another auntie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As well as my guy Scrub. Zero. Scrub, what's up, my guy?
What up? What up? Ready to get this going.
So good people and not so good people, I want to remind everybody. Because I wasn't here last week, so you may have forgotten. We are the NFC Beast. We are the Beast of the NFL. Why? That's a great question. Because name another division that has not one, but 2 championships from every team. At least 2 championships. You cannot do so because they don't exist. And, you know, some divisions like, oh, it's because of the realignment. It's because of this. It's because of that. Well, I just want to point out something. Realignment has happened. It's been a while since it happened, right? And it happened 2-3 years ago. They've had time to get themselves together. We got ourselves right. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't done it yet, that's not our problem. We've done it. We the best. Until you can get like us, stay off the porch. Stay on the porch. Stay out the yard because you ain't ready for it. So, with that being said, gentlemen, we're going to dive into things. You know how I like to say from time to time, we ain't got to be here for a long time, just a good time, right? We ain't got to be here for a good time, not a long time. You know, we know about that. But anyway, we got a couple of things to talk about. We've got some changes to the staff in Washington. Unfortunately, we still have Kevin Patullo. So there's that. The Giants decided to never understand the assignment for the second year in a row and go from the number 1 pick to the 5th pick. Got the head coaching search, right, for the Giants. And by the way, Scrub, Kevin Patullo is there if y'all want to come take him.
No.
I will call and personally go ahead and, you know,
pack his
see if I
bags.
can get Howie and Jeff to go ahead and clear him for an interview, whatever y'all want to interview him. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's during the game. You can
send him to Cleveland.
Yeah, you can interview him during the game. That might help us. Just interview him during the game.
Like I said, send him to Cleveland. They need a head coach.
I'm just saying, whoever wanted him, he's there. Somebody please take him. Please. Getting to that, we also have our superlatives for our representatives that are here for their teams for the year. You know, superlatives are basically our players of the year, offensive, defensive, rookie, comeback, and then your MVP for your team. Kind of let those gentlemen also give us their thoughts on their seasons as a whole, you know, what they took away from it, all that good stuff. And we'll end up by previewing the Eagles 49ers matchup. And gentlemen, we might slide into other games, just, you know, some picks for the other games. We can do that. We slide some picks for the other games. Gentlemen, let us start with the New York Football Giants and your thoughts, Scrub, on your season as a whole. If you have a preferred new coach, who that would be. And then after that, we'll get into some of the other stuff. So, Scrub, floor is yours, my good man.
Well, this was another lost season. You know, the Giants actually shown they have more talent this year than they had in past years, but they couldn't win games until the last 2 because the Raiders are literally an inept team organization altogether. And the Cowboys, clearly Jerry is trying to lose to get that extra pick. So we end up winning 4 games. There are games the Giants could have won that they ended up losing. You would think, all right, Raiders, all right, so be it. They probably still should have ended up with the top 3 pick, probably number 2 even, but we know how the Giants get down. The organization of league tanking it is what it is. I'm not even mad at that. My thing is why do we continue to have the same issues and keep running on this hamster wheel and then expect different results? Because that's basically what all this has been. It's been the same thing since the team got rid of Coughlin, and I don't think anything's gonna change with who they're really trying to get, according to the reports at least. They're trying to get John Harbaugh. He's not a guy I want. The guy I really want is Brian Flores, but with that lawsuit, I don't think that's going to happen. I would be in favor of Clint Kubiak, though. I think that would be an option as far as like first time head coach. I would be interested in Vance Joseph, but I don't trust the Giants to give him everything that he really needs. I don't even actually trust him to take a chance on doing something they haven't actually done. Like, they have a formula, they follow it, and I think until they're willing to say, all right, we got to try something new, actually take a real risk, at least for their standards, we going to keep doing the same thing. Harbaugh, no, I'm good on him. Stefanski, I'm man. And then so they're going to interview Cliff Kingsbury and Deergate. I know the fan base is excited. I'm not. There's not much until we'll see what happens, because this is where the organization has left me, and wait and see, because they do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, is what it is on that front. And I guess as far as like MVP, offensive player, defensive player, all that. MVP and defensive players, Brian Burns. Offensive player, I guess, would be Wandale Robinson, because he's been the most healthy and consistent rookie of the year. Yeah. There's not really much else to say. The Giants are solid. There, and until go ahead. If I say more, I'm not.
What about your most improved player of the year, sir?
Improved? Who was most improved?
I mean, since you went ahead and jumped into that anyway, might as well go ahead and give him all, sir.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is a fair point. I guess most improved. No, because he got hurt. Shoot. I guess Tyrone Tracy, but I can't even really say Tyrone Tracy because he kind of did something similar last year. So, and a lot of the players that came through this, I guess Bobby Okereke, but that would be by default. Let me put it like this: the Giants had a lot of disappointment in a lot of areas, including the players. So it would either be Okereke or Tracy, and either or, it's not really much of a difference in the grand scheme of things.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just to sum it up, Scrub hates what his team has done for another year. He's not going to look at any of the positives, just the negatives. And the team sucks.
The team is sorry. Look, if they get a coach that's not on the radar, but actually is like, hey, we got something here, I might start believing in again. But until then, because we still have the same general manager. So
for Giants fans out there that want a little hope, there were a plethora of injuries to major contributors for the New York Football Giants this year. Early in the season, which derails your season, as Couch Coach will definitely eloquently tell you in a few minutes, because Couch Coach, I know, he's going to tell you the truth, but he's going to give you both sides. Not just bad. Floor is all yours, Couch Coach.
Well, a stark difference between, this time last year versus now. I would never thought that we would be having a review the second week of January for this Washington Commanders team. Very disappointing. I mean, this was the team that looked like they were having pieces where essentially they were going for broke. Obviously, we're the oldest team in the NFL, but you figure some of those moves are going to kind of be like little pieces to kind of help advance the run. But didn't come to fruition. A lot of injuries. Obviously, Jay Daniels missing 10 games does not help. I think the last time that he played a meaningful football game in a sense was probably against the Chargers, and we were 3-2. And then for that, we didn't win the game until December the 14th. And thank you, Scrub, for the early Christmas present for that. I appreciate you. But it's just been a bad season. Like we talked about this all year. This injuries just come out of nowhere. Like just crazy injuries. Obviously, we talked about I think about Dedrick Wise. He gets hurt in the Green Bay game. He's out for the year. Austin Eckler tears his Achilles. So many injuries, and then even one strange injury. So Traylon Burks got hurt against the Lions. So we were supposed to fly out Monday to go to Madrid. He gets a minor finger injury. He couldn't even come to Madrid. I'm just like, it's so many injuries, and then the comebacks. Jay Daniels tried to come back, gets hurt in that Seattle game, comes back, and then pretty much, I won't say re-aggravate the injury, but against Minnesota. Then at that point, it was already too late. There was a lot of games where inconsistency. Like there was games that you're like losing to Minnesota 31-0 was not on my bingo card. I mean, so many competitive games. You went toe-to-toe with Denver. You went, so I'm like, you had these games where one moment they look like they're competitive and they in it, and then they don't. Then we talk about Marcus Mariota gets hurt. Then our emergency quarterback has to come in. Anytime you got to use your emergency quarterback between the Eagles game and then the season finale, it's a problem. And this team already kind of lacked depth anyway. It just really shows you this is kind of a moment where you may not be as cute as you think you are. This is a kind of a humbling season where it's like, yes, you would have built a ball last year, but you just an ugly duckling that didn't get their slippers this year, and it was just a harsh reality. And it's back to the drawing board as you talking about, getting rid of Cliff Kingsbury, and then obviously we know Joe Witt was going to be fired because obviously DQ took over the play call, so that was going to happen. And then also, which was a shock that Bobby Johnson got fired, which I thought that offensive line unit probably, as you will tell in my superlatives, are really heavy because a lot of those guys came and showed up to play. That's the odd thing about this team, where it's like you always look at this watch Commander team, they don't have good offensive line, but they were pretty efficient this year. That's the irony of this team, where the unit that really was the standout was the offensive line. But it just go to show you how bizarre this year has been. Did you want to be my superlatives as well?
Hey, Scrub already just broke everything, just did his, so you might as well do yours too, sir.
So my rookie of the year is Ja'Cory Cross-Get-Married, a.k.a. Bill. Solid performance, 805 rushing yards on the season, 8 touchdowns. He did his thing. Defensive player of the year has got to be Bobby Wagner. 162 tackles on the season, 79 solo tackles. Offensive player of the year, I guess Debo. He played in 16 games, 72 receptions. Yeah, a little over 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. For this year, that's good enough for this team. Like it's going to show you kind of how south this year's gone for the Commanders. Most improved, I gotta give it to Chris Paul. He's our left guard. He's been on the reserve. He's pretty much just been healthy scratches. I know he was healthy scratch during the Ron Rivera era. Was benched for the benched primarily last season as well. But he beat out Brandon Coleman for the left guard spot. So for him to have his improvement, it's kind of show you like the development where it's like, that's always been kind of DQ and also Ron Rivera, their type of where you don't really get that much development where you get a guy who, like you got a guy like a Chris Paul stature and he emerges from the reserves from being on the bench and becoming and then he allowed 0 sacks. So huge shout out to him. MVP, Larry Tunstall. It show you just how bad it is. He only allowed 1 sack this season. And so and then also to mention David Blau is our new offensive coordinator. He was our assistant quarterback coach. So I'm gonna trust DQ because if we sitting here this time next year and this don't work out, we already know what's gonna happen. Who you want as your new head coach?
So did you say your MVP, sir?
Yeah, Larry Tunstall.
Okay, it was your MVP. Okay.
Yeah, Larry Tunstall.
Scrub, did you say your MVP?
Yeah, Brian Burns. I gave him the MVP and
Okay. I just want to make sure get the information from you good gentlemen as you have firsthand knowledge of what's current within these organizations. According to Scrub, the Giants just throw a bomb in there and just let it do its thing, but
honestly, it left it to me. I just say airstrike the building and start over. Just started all over, though.
Scrub said scorched earth.
Scorched earth.
So I have to say this about the Giants, right? You don't understand the assignment year after year. And people say, cool, those guys that are out there playing, they're out there playing. They're not, worried about not winning games, and, they're just trying to keep their jobs. Well, there's one way to make sure that doesn't affect the team. You know what that is? Oh, Jackson Dart. You walked a little funny today. You got an ankle injury. You're out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but for real.
No, that organizational decision. Like Jerry made that decision for his team. Yep. Giants, though, they don't believe.
And then you go out and you beat the Cowboys week 18 for what? What did you accomplish by beating the Cowboys? Oh, you dropped to the 5th pick. That's what you accomplished.
Because the sad part is it's not even like they played at full power, and we're like, hey, we actually finally beat the dang on Cowboys. Where you can just for the sake of just say, hey, yo, we beat the team out the first time in how long? It was like we beat them and they was trying to lose. I can't celebrate that.
Right.
It's not or like, hey, they missed the playoffs because we beat them in the last week. I'll just be laughing at it. I'm like, all right, it wasn't all perfect, but they did something right. They kept the Cowboys out of the playoffs. Nope, the Cowboys been eliminated.
And when you talk about the Commanders, I have to agree with Couch Coach. A lot of just unfulfilled hopes, right? Just the team you thought coming into this year would compete for, and a lot of people say even beat the Eagles for the division. I didn't have a problem with that because at the end of the day, I did expect it to be a 2-team race based on what we had from, Washington the previous year. But, like Couch Coach said, injuries. One of the biggest things that takes anybody out of contention for anything is injuries. You can't plan for injuries. You can't – let's be honest. You can't truly replace someone who gets hurt. You can, to a point, say, like, all right, this person got hurt, so we're going to put this person in. But is that a tit for tat? If it was, the other person would have been the starter to begin with. So you're losing, some depth. And then, like Couch Coach said, they even had to go with Josh Johnson. Yeah, as quarterback.
Our emergency quarterback.
Like
he didn't dress until the Philly game.
Yeah.
Your emergency quarterback is just dressed, but he's not used.
I don't know how Josh Johnson keeps getting jobs, though. But he works than Mariota, and that's saying something.
Josh Johnson must be a cool dude. Because everybody want to sign this dude.
Yeah.
And he must not cause no problems at all. I'd say, along with Dallas, who, if we have flown next week, we'll let him give us his thoughts on Dallas. But I would say, along with Dallas, Washington and Dallas, I think people had at least expectations for them to challenge for the division in the playoffs. I think we knew the Giants was going to be a little ways away, especially after they lost Scatterboo and Malik Neighbors early in the season. So, there are some bright lights for you, Scrub. Trust me, bro.
No, it's not all negative. There are some positives.
You get Scatterboo back. You get Malik Neighbors. Draft some defense. You can at least improve from this year.
But can they get the right head coach? Because that's been the issue. And until they get the right head coach, it's going to continue to be the same problems.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Oh, and I did say one team would make the playoffs out this division. That'd be the division leader. And who did I pick to be the division to win this division? The dang on Eagles.
He made the same face when he said it. My face looked different. I was like,
right.
Oh man. But yeah, man, I think it was a competitive season. We split with the Giants. I tell people all the time, it's not what you look like off the field. You play the games. Like you say, oh, we feel like this team is this team is that. New York came out of their first game and whooped our butt. I ain't gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna say that the referees, they came out there and whooped our butt because my coach and my offensive coordinator are on a different earthsis. They're not on the one the rest of us are on. Because stuff they be talking about, it doesn't make any sense. And they gonna cost us at least 2 games a year. As long as those two stay together, they're gonna cost us at least 2 games a year. And I'm not saying that they cost us the Giants game, but I am saying that the hubris that they walked into that game with, I was like, bruh, the Giants are another NFL team. I tell people this all the time. We're all NFL teams. And if you go in not properly prepared and not with the right mindset against any NFL team, you will get your butt whooped. So I think we did it. I think the preparation was piss poor that week, and it showed in execution. And that's why the Giants stumped us. And, a lot of people was like, oh, y'all lost to the Giants. I know you, man. I'm like, I'm actually not, man. I'm happy for the Giants. Because you know what? Sometimes you got to go out and show people who you is. And the Giants was able to do that. But again, injuries started piling up right after that, and things didn't look so good for the Giants. But the East will be back next year. So all your other divisions, the East going to be back next year. You know what I'm saying? The East is going to be back. Don't be playing with us. We here for a reason. All right, gentlemen. Do either one of you have any thoughts you'd like to throw out there about your Week 18 game? I have nothing to say about mine. Because we already know that my offense coordinator don't know what he's doing. We already know my head coach can't call plays, and we already know the backups are not as good as the starters. So I don't really have anything to say about Week 18. The couch coach, Scrub, do you guys have any information or any thoughts you'd like to throw out there from Week 18?
I guess, I'll say something. Shout out to Josh Johnson, man. For him to get a win. I know, like his story, I think, like you said, why he's still in this league, you got to root for a guy like a Josh Johnson. He's on one, I think he's on the 17th or 18th NFL team. He even played with us back in 2018. For him, it was a sentimental win for him, considering the fact in the NFC Championship game a few years back, had that huge concussion. He even said he didn't think he would ever play again. He thought that was going to be the end of his career. So for him to kind of get that moment, although it's not the NFC Championship game, but for him to go back to the link and win a football game, I think it's just something that he can tell his grandkids, if this is it for him, that he came out on top. So, we do morale victories around here, especially when you're 5-12.
I'm glad you could do moral victories because I'm tired of it. I want real victories. Not that I ain't got nothing.
I still want to be in last place. I don't want to be in last place. That's all.
I want to have a respectable football team and not come out and look like the worst team in the NFL for most of the damn year.
Okay. So we are going to move on and pick some playoff games here. Of course, we're gonna
let's talk about some winners for a change.
You know what? We're not even gonna say one for the end of the day, guys. We're gonna go through all of them, including the Eagles. We're gonna go through everybody. We're just gonna do it like we do it. We're gonna do it like we're doing it for TV. Matter of fact, we're gonna start with the 6-3 game in the NFC on Fox, January 11th. I don't have the time right in front of me. Actually,
4:30 Eastern.
4:30. Yeah, I ain't gonna play with you. I know it's 4:30. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox. We got the San Francisco 49ers at 12-5, rolling into the Lincoln Financial Field, the link to play the 11-6 Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you heard that, 12-5 49ers, 11-6 Eagles. Why are the Eagles 11-6? Because our coach and our OC live on a different earth assist from the rest of us. And on that earth assist, we rest players when we have a chance to move up and get a better seed. Why? Because that's what they do in Bizarro World, where they're from. So my thoughts are very simple. Every game the Philadelphia Eagles are in the rest of the season will be a 50-50 game. Our defense is going to come out and play phenomenal, spectacular, fantastic. Our offense may show up, it may not. And if we're playing another team that their offense shows up and they have a really good defense as well, it could be a problem. San Francisco's banged up. They did get back their all-world left tackle. His name escapes me at the very moment because, of course, that's what happens when you go live. Or that's what happens when you're doing a show. All beforehand, I was reading about him, everything. Get on here. Can't remember his name. But it's Trent Williams. It just popped in my head. So Trent Williams did practice. So that's good for the 49ers. Maybe not so good for the Eagles. Of course, I'm going to have the Eagles win the game, but I think it's going to be a close game. It truly is a 50-50 game because the Philadelphia Eagles offense is involved. And again, when your OC and the head coach, who's supposed to be an offensive head coach, live on Bizarro World, a different earth assist from the rest of us, things get crazy. All right. Scrub, your thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the link to play my Philadelphia Eagles?
I think both teams, like you said, Cool. If your offense show up, it can be all right or it could go bad. Niners have a lot of – they've played well defensively what they have, but they can't get pressure. So that's one of those things that could end up hurting them. And then we saw against the Seahawks, they got shut down pretty bad. I think they also gave up on the run too early. If it's something similar like that against the Eagles, I think it could be a similar result for the Niners. Which I got the Niners losing this game. Not that they can't win it because, as you eloquently stated, the Eagles got their own problems.
Different earth assist.
But from what I saw from the 49ers, that gives me a little more worry than what I've seen from the Eagles. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Niners pull it out. I don't see either team getting past the division round, though. So, enjoy the ride as long as you can, because I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see a bunch of totem traps, spiders, poison vipers, all that good stuff. Yeah, like you're in a temple run or something. You're gonna run to a trap.
Hopefully we can beat Indiana Jones and find our way through such things, but I hear you, man. It's 50-50. That's what's 50-50. So all it takes is a bad week from Kevin Perdue, as I like to call him, because his play calling is Perdue. And things could go bad.
Well, at least you're playing water gun Purdy, so that helps out a bit.
Anything, Couch Coach?
Yeah, I definitely think the Eagles will take care of business. Look at the San Francisco team; they're like the wounded animal that's coming in, where it's like they're on their last leg, and I definitely think you guys take full advantage of the mismatch that you guys will have. So, got the Eagles winning.
All right, then we're going to slide over to the AFC. And we're going to talk about their 5-4 matchup. That is Monday night, January 12th. That's 8:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the number 5 Houston Texans at 12-5 traveling to the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mike Tomlin played a coach elimination game with the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh, and he won the coach elimination game. So as of now, he's still the coach. John Harbaugh is not the coach in Baltimore. Let's see. I'm going to go Houston in this one because I think Houston is a better team.
Real quick, I don't think Mike Tomlin's getting fired. The Steelers don't fire coaches, and if he's the first one they fire, that's a bad look. Maybe he might want a different look. That's a different discussion at that point. Regardless, they got lucky getting out of that game against the Ravens last week. I don't think they'll be as lucky going against the Texans. The Texans are a better team overall. The only thing that does concern me, CJ Stroud, he's had a tendency this season to make some boneheaded turnovers. You're just like, bro, this is unnecessary. He did it against the Chargers. He did it against the Seahawks. You just hope it doesn't come back to bite him in a game like this, or he could just avoid it altogether. Maybe you see the old Aaron Rodgers and not old man Aaron Rodgers, but from what I've seen from the Steelers, Rodgers is cooked, and that defense ain't going to be able to do enough. I got the Texans.
Yeah, I got the Texans as well. Coming in 9-game win streak. Oh. All right. Yeah. I got the Texans. Oh yeah, 9 straight wins. They're playing their best football at the right time. Their defense is nothing to play with. Pittsburgh is gonna be they're not gonna win this game, and the streak will continue. Not going past the divisional round. So
fair enough. We then have January 10th, 8 p.m. We've got the 7-2 matchup in the NFC. We've got the Green Bay Packers, another match unit team, traveling to Chicago to Soldier Field to play our football. 9-7-1 Green Bay, 11-6 Chicago. Couch Coach, we're going to come right back to you. Who do you have winning this game, sir?
I got the Bears winning this game. This is another one where they have split the season series. Each home team has won the game. I definitely think the Bears, and they have been close games by one score or less. And I definitely think that the Bears will win and set up a nice date next weekend with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. Scrub, who do you have winning this game, sir?
I have the Bears, but the Bears are the biggest wild card in this NFC bracket because we have seen all season, with the exception of one game, that game being against the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Bears have been up and down through the course of the that's the thing that worries me. I don't remember watching a team through the course of a season have the amount of wins they've had, but been so inconsistent in their play. And they're going against the Packers. Now, they should beat the Packers, but it is a divisional matchup, and we know you go against a division foe, some crazy stuff end up happening. Packers have historically had the Bears number. but the Packers are also banged up. This will be Jordan Love's first game back from the concussion, but he hadn't been great playing prior to the injury either. And then who the head coach? Matt LaFleur. He only got 5 run plays in the playbook because you got Josh Jacobs. You don't utilize him. You have Emmanuel Wilson. You don't utilize him. So it should be the Bears. I'm leaning Bears, but there is a path for the Packers to win, and because the Bears are gonna have to, I believe in them, but they still gotta show. And that's just simple fact of the matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a clean sweep. I'm gonna go Chicago. Although, if Love comes out and can look sharp, and they actually do something crazy and start to use the running game a little bit, they got a chance to win this game. But I mean, I'd have to agree with you. If you're picking, the safe pick is definitely going to be, Chicago. And that's just like they say, it's what it is. All right, and then we're going to swing over to the AFC. And we are going to talk about, come on, man. Don't freeze now. There we go. The 7-2 matchup in AFC. We have the 11-6 Chargers traveling to the 14-3 New England Patriots. The Patriots fans that I know, in their mind, they've already won this game. In all fairness, you do it. In my mind, you have to give it to them because we know the history of the Chargers. And this is January 11th at 8:15 p.m. on NBC, by the way. So I would pick the New England Patriots at home in this game. But I wouldn't be surprised, and some people may not believe when I say this, that if we go into Gillette Stadium and the Chargers somehow find a way, Mario Hampton running the ball, a couple of plays by Justin Herbert to win the game. But I am going to pick New England to win, but I'll put this game on upset alert. Scrub, who you got? And then we'll finish up this game with Couch Coach.
I got the Patriots. All signs lead to them having favorable matchups. Chargers have been banged up in a lot of areas, especially the offensive line. We'll see what Drake May's really made of in this playoffs. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but he has to play well because the Patriots they're not the best running team anyway. Not that they don't try to run the ball, but their numbers haven't been good overall throughout the season. The Chargers, well, Justin Herbert, you going to show up or are you not? You've gotten a lot of passes from a lot of the national media. I ain't give you no pass because I ain't that kind of guy. So show me what you got. But listen, I don't like either team. The Patriots will forever be the enemy. And I can't trust no dang on wall charger because once you pull it off the wall, it's good for nothing. And since they got to go into the cold of Foxborough, yep. I ain't picking no dang on wall charger. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pats for sure.
So sweet, Couch. I got you. I ain't mad at it. All right, so we're gonna slide over to the third game in the NFC, and of course, that's gonna be the number 5 Los Angeles Rams traveling to number 4 Carolina Panthers. The Panthers re-debuting in the playoffs. First time since Cam was there last time. And just for you guys that may want a little bit of information, I do live in Charlotte, so I hear things. Cam is going to be doing the drum beating, pounding the drum. that they do here. Their thing is keep pounding. So Cam will be the honorary drum pounder for the game. It may be raining, so there'll be a little extra boost. And this matchup has already happened this year, and the Panthers won that matchup. I'm sorry to my Panthers friends and neighbors and all this, but I have to go Rams. It's hard to beat the better teams twice, especially when they're more talented than you. So I'm gonna have to go Rams, but Carolina did beat them in the regular season, so there's always a slight, very small, not that small, but like very small possibility that they may be able to pull out a win. Couch Coach, who you got?
Give me the Rams. I know all the pomp and circumstance, and just what a great story for the NFL. Obviously, when you can get a Panthers ticket for the price of a pack of gum back in the day. But now, it's a great story, and the story was great, but it's going to end tonight as I think the Rams going to win the game.
Screw it. Listen, I got you told me to pick the yams or the house cats. I would use a different term for them, but
I'm just saying I had to come back to you. I just saw your face. I just needed you. It's something you needed to say, so I just want to make sure you get the chance to say it. I can see it in your eyes.
I got the yams. Listen, like you said, the Panthers won the regular season, so it's not impossible. Because the biggest thing, forget even the records, it comes down to matchups. The Panthers proved they could beat the Rams, but now they got to show they can do it one more time. And listen, they got who's probably going to be the MVP of Matthew Stafford. Mm-hmm. I know he got a Super Bowl already, but the sports is still. What have you got to update your resume? What have you done for me lately? Well, Matthew Stafford, you're gonna have to show you that guy, because if you don't, your team going home. You can't be turning the ball over. You can't go back to that old Matthew Stafford. You got like 2-3 picks. And so I think it's really run game. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage, it's really going to be. You know what it is? I don't even think it's going to be so much offensive defense for the Ants. It's special teams, because they did fire their special teams coach a few weeks ago. That's been an issue for them throughout the year. I think if they lose this game, we'll look back and be like, that special team slowed them down again. But I think they could hold water, and that'll be enough to, because they got the offense, they got the defense. I know the Panthers, when they play at their best, they can give you a little something, but there's just something about this matchup that's telling me pick the Rams.
He said a little something.
Just a little something.
All right. So we got two teams with byes. Denver Broncos at 14-3, and the Seattle Seahawks also at 14-3. So 14 wins gets you a bye based on what's happened the last couple of years, right? So the last matchup. And by the way, the Panthers Rams game gets nobody's going to be watching, but you still got to get primetime spot. So
it's the first playoff game.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah, 4:25 on Saturday. All right. The Buffalo Bills and Mr. Josh Allen go to face Sunshine and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, of course. January 11th, 1 p.m. 12-5 Buffalo, 13-4 Jacksonville. Scrub, who's winning?
Do I go with Josh Allen or Sunset? Not Sunshine. He started playing like Sunshine as of late. He was playing like Sunset before. He was. Honestly, my man's got name for him. If you ever seen the movie, if you see Shrek, if you see Prince Charming, that's Trevor Lawrence. I'm picking the Jags, but I get this sense that the Bills are going to somehow win this game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that sense does not come to pass, because I think the Jags. For the Jags, it comes down to Trevor Lawrence. If he plays well, they'll win. Him and ETN. But we know Trevor Lawrence has some Eli Manning tendencies. So he either going to play very well, or he going to play very sorry. ETN be disappearing at moments too, and that does worry me as well. For the Bills, I can say the same for Josh Allen, because he'll have these great numbers and still be sorry in the game. So I don't think James Cook's going to get off. If James Cook don't get off, the Bills don't win. And that's what I'm thinking is going to end up happening. If he do go off, though, well, it was nice knowing the Jags. And that's kind of the long and short of it.
Who you got, Couch Coach?
I got the Bills winning this game. Even though Josh Allen is 0-4 on the road, I got a strange feeling this is the year for the Bills.
For the Toronto Bills.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with your Couch Coach. I think you can't go out in the first round this year. Buffalo cannot go out in the first round this year. Like they can't justify that, so they can't do it. So I think all the pressure's on Buffalo, but I think they'll be able to handle it because pressure busts pipes or it makes diamonds. At least for 1 week, Buffalo can be a diamond.
Yeah,
and they can change
they better hope that it bursts the pipes in Jacksonville. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because Patrick Mahomes ain't playing in Jacksonville, so you got a good shot.
Yeah, but once again, like I said about Trevor Lawrence, I call him Eli Manning 2.5 because he'll have moments of looking brilliant, and then you'll be scratching your head like, why the heck are you even on this field?
Right.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've made our picks for all of the games, giving you the players of the games for the two teams represented here. Washington Commanders and your New York Giants. We also did discuss the Eagles game, but I want to say one thing I want to add to that. Whoever we play in the playoffs are also going to have the coaching advantage. So we're going to be playing from a disadvantage from the coaching standpoint the entirety of the playoffs. However long that lasts for the Philadelphia Eagles. We will be back for a show next week because guess what? We'll either be wrapping up the Eagles and possibly the Cowboys, or we'll be talking about the Eagles' victory and moving on to the next round. We believe it's going to be an Eagles victory, but that's why they play the game like Herm Edwards says. So, Couch Coach, any last words, sir?
No. It's gonna keep it going, like we did last year. We're not going to have an historic NFC East championship game, but, we at least have one dog in the fight.
Fair enough. Scrub, any last words, sir?
Yeah, the NFC is still the better conference. I don't care what anyone says. AFC, step your weight up.
Well, my last comment is not even going to be about the NFL. My last comment is going to be about my freaking Miami Hurricanes in the championship game at home. I'm happy. Y'all don't understand. It's been a long time since Miami has been relevant in college football. So I'm very happy about that. And my Eagles doing well. This is an unprecedented experience for me. I don't know how to act. But I've been calm because ain't nobody still done nothing really yet. So, but, if your team's out already, guys, think about it like this. And not just them, but whoever else is watching. Thinking about it, you can't win every year, right? That's not how it happens. And my thing is, I would rather be where y'all at, right? Just we down a little bit, we down, than right there on the cusp and be one game from making the playoffs, but we don't make it, or we the last team in for the playoffs. It's like, bro, you could have just, had a couple of injuries and got you a better draft pick. But you got to have the right people in place when you are down to make the right picks. And I feel like the two teams represented here have at least a chance to do that. I know Scrub only believes one of those teams have a chance to do that, but you look at the picks they've had over the last few years. They've made some smart picks. Now, executing when they get those picks, that's a different story. But we're going to have a new coach for the New York Giants next year, so we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty confident that Washington and Dallas are going to have the same coaches in place. And unfortunately, unless somebody poaches them, we're going to have the same OC next year. So, that being said, man, we appreciate everybody for watching. Thank Couch Coach as well as Scrub for hopping on. And for them, it's your boy Cool McCain. We are in the building at the playoffs. We're going to see what the Eagles can do for the Beast. Hopefully they can do something because, right now we're the lone lion from the East. We got to do a little something in there. Oh, and never forget, it is always where you start. It is never where you finish.
Other way around.
So what?
You said it earlier. You messed up. You said it's always where you start, never where you finish.
Oh yeah, it's always where you finish. No.
It's never where you start, always where you finish.
Thank you, sir. That's what I was saying, yeah. That right there. So the other one you didn't hear it, it's that right there. Now have a good night.